everybody, I'm Kandi, and you are checking out BCK TV.
Hi, thank you so much for interviewing with BCK TV today.
BCK TV, thanks for having me.
Yes, we feature you a lot on the site, so we really wanted to have the opportunity to sit down with you. So first, congrats on the 1 year anniversary.
Thank you.
Yes, that's huge, that's huge, that's huge. So how is it having a blended family?
I think, well, it's great now. I mean, it took us a little second to get adjusted. I mean, we have big daughters. Like, you know, I think it's easier to have little small children blend together because they're friends and they can play together. But it's like with my daughter's 12, Todd's, Kayla, Riley's 12, Kayla is 18. So, well, no, her birthday's coming up, so she'll be 19 soon. I don't know how soon you're going to post this, but so it took them a second to kind of like get used to each other and start communicating with each other. Because at first it was just like, okay, I'm going to my room, I'm going to my room. You know, they didn't really hang out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean, it's an age difference.
It's a big age difference, but my daughter is super tall for her age, so people tend to treat her older, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know how if you have a kid that's like 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", you know, you don't look at them like a little 12-year-old.
Right. So that actually leads to one of my other questions. So with your daughter being so tall, is she into like athletics? If she wants to model? Or have that been pushed on her? Or?
Well, I've always tried to put her in like physical activities because, you know, my daughter, you know, she was a little thick. You know, growing up, you know, a lot of kids have baby fat or whatever. And so I always, you know, tried to keep her in some type of athletic thing. So whether she's done swimming, she's done track. Well, she did track this past year at school. She's done all kind of stuff, girl. If you mean from childhood on up, I mean, she even did, like, with one of her friends, they did the little flag football thing. Okay. She's done everything.
I mean, that's good that she's active, and I guess for our viewers, we definitely want to know, how is it juggling being a mother, being a business owner? Like, how is that? What advice would you give to mothers like myself who, you know, I'm doing multiple things, but to kind of keep the sanity, because you seem to be very sane?
Well, it is hard to keep a lot going on and still be a good mom. I mean, I feel like a lot of us that are busy a lot, you know, we start feeling guilty. We try to make up for it in gifts, you know, to our kids. Oh, I'll give you this or I'll give you that, so they won't be feeling upset. But another thing that worked for me, especially in Riley's younger years when I was single, I always say you have to co-parent with somebody, even if you don't have a father in your child's life. So I always said, me and one of my homegirls, we were co-parenting. Even though you can't really call it that, but we were, because she was in medical school and, you know, I'm doing my thing or whatever. So our kids were almost the same age. So basically, if she had things to do when she was working and need to study, I would take both of our kids and have them doing activities and keep them having fun. So they're not really feeling like they're missing out. You know, they're not just at home just sitting there, nothing to do, bored. You know, and the same vice versa. If I had something to do, she would take my daughter along with hers and keep them busy. I think that's the key. If you need to work or do whatever you need to do, you need to keep your kids active, busy, staying in activity, so they won't feel neglected. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it goes back to it takes a village.
Yeah, it definitely takes a village. I even myself, like, I sponsor a little league football team and stuff like that, you know, so that, you know, moms who really don't have it all to be able to put their kids in those activities, and that it will help them out, because it is very important to keep your kids active.
Yeah, I don't mind. So with everything going on, I believe on one of the episodes there was a talk of going to LA just for a month or something like that. So have you ever seriously considered leaving Atlanta?
Seriously, no. We've talked about it. We've talked about even having a place somewhere else. We haven't done it, but My daughter, she wants to move around, but she doesn't want to leave her school. So I don't know how that's going to work. I think she wants to move around after she graduates.
Right.
But I just kind of like want to stay here at least until she graduates. I don't really want to move, to be honest with you. I like where I live. Yeah, I'm born and raised here, but at the same time, I have to respect my husband. So if he, really wanted to move for career purposes or whatever, then, then we have to do what we have to do. But me personally, I'm encouraging him to keep more activities going here, like so more productions and stuff here in Atlanta, so that he would want to be here.
Oh, that's smart. I mean, to stay in the area, it's familiar. Your family's here.
Yeah, I mean, our family, my side of the family is here, but at the same time, we have a home, obviously, and then our offices are here, and so Todd is doing full productions out of our office, and it's like, okay, to me, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we can just go and get a new setup somewhere else, but I'm kind of comfortable.
So speaking of being comfortable and your husband and everything, as it relates to television, we've been able to see your life kind of not flourish. You've always been at the top, but we've seen ideas come to fruition right before our eyes.
Right.
From the candy factory. I remember, I think one episode you was checking out the building.
Yeah.
The play.
Yes. Bedroom candy.
Bedroom candy. So I guess for other individuals who have these ideas, what advice would you give them to take it from just an idea to reality? Okay.
Well, the first thing is start your research and start making moves immediately. I don't waste a lot of time just saying, oh, this would be a great idea, because you'll find yourself saying that for years, talking about how good an idea is until you see somebody else doing it. Then you mad at yourself because you're like, I thought about that, but you didn't, take the step. And I always tell people this as well. A lot of times we talk ourselves out of, trying something, or we defeat ourselves before we even figure out what it would take to make it happen. So I know some people are like, well, I want to start my own clothing line or something like that. And they'll be like, but I know that'll be too much. Well, did you even check to see how much it costs to manufacture the shirt? Did you see how much it, start doing your research first before you tell yourself that you cannot do it. You get what I'm saying? I just feel like too many of us, we think too hard, too long. It's like, just start putting some action behind your thoughts.
Just do it.
Give yourself deadlines. See, I think that's the thing that really helps with me being on the show, because I've always been a person that if I say I'm going to do something, I want you to bet and be able to put your money on it that it's going to come together. So I don't like to let people down. Like, that's just a thing in myself. So by me being on this show, I've never wanted to be somebody who just be talking about something and then you'll never see it come together. A lot of people on reality TV do that. They sit up and be like, oh yeah, I want to start my own this. 3 seasons later, they still be talking about the same thing. Well, no, normally if I say it, I want it to be done by the end of that season. I want you to see it visibly there. Or either it needs to be, the prototype needs to be there, something to show there was progress in those months. So it's like I kind of like time myself. Like once I mention it, if I know we taping for 3-4 months, it was like, okay, it better be done by it. And then I know I put extra pressure on my team because of this. But with that being said, that's how I know that anything can be done. I didn't know how to do it either until I made myself figure it out. Sometimes you just have to just say, okay, well, I'm going to figure it out. If you've been talking about something for years now and you don't even know how much it costs to produce it, you have a problem. Like, you have not researched, you don't really want it. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like if I really want something, then I'm gonna try to make myself do it within so many months. So, or deadlines. Deadlines is majorly important.
Notes. Yeah, definitely that. And that's why I had to ask the question, because you're one of the few that actually say, okay, I'm gonna do something, and literally by the end of it, it has been done. So that is motivation. So I had to ask that question because I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know that. Like, how do you just come from the idea?
Well, right, but I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, think about people that you know. Like, a lot of them, whether it's, I want to have my own bakery, right? They'll sit up there and say, well, I don't know how I'm going to do it, da-da-da-da-da. Ain't nobody gonna give me no money. Have you even asked anybody for something? Do you even know how much money you asking for?
No.
You know what I mean? Have you even priced out how much the equipment's gonna cost? Why don't you start at your house first? Like, if you can't get this, going first, why don't you do a mobile business where you taking the stuff to different places and collect up enough money so that you can buy your first piece of equipment or whatever? Have you even went online to do a GoFundMe account? Have you put together your business plan? Have you even tried to get a small business loan? Have you, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so many things that, I could just break it down one by one to say that you didn't put 100% effort behind your dream.
Right.
And that's why it didn't come together.
No, you're absolutely right. So with that, what I also noticed about you as well, you've done some scripted television. You've done Let's Stay Together, Single Ladies. So do you plan to do more scripted television? Maybe your own scripted show, possibly?
I would love to do that. That's always been a dream of mine that I haven't put 100% behind.
Putting it out there, people.
That is a dream of mine. But, right now, Todd and I are actually developing a movie. Okay. We've been working on the script for a little while now, and hopefully we'll be in production by the end of the year. And will be in it. Nice. I will be in it. But, that's always the dream that I wanted to act. I mean, honestly, when I was younger, I wanted to act more than I wanted to sing, but the singing just took off quicker.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess for the site, we have a lot of young girls that check out the site, and the question that I want to know is, for young girls, like your daughter's age, what advice would you give to them if they wanted to follow in your footsteps as far as maybe pursuing music or just wanting to start a business? Because a lot of, for the adults, just do it. But as far as, young girls, I mean, the same would apply, but what advice would you give specifically?
I mean, the same applies for the most part. And the reason why I say that is because I always tell people, you don't have to wait to work on your dream. Whoever said, like, I hate when people be like, well, when I get out of high school or when I get out of college, then I'm going to try to put something together. Well, you're already behind. You know what I mean? I feel like, I guess because I started pursuing my dream as a teenager, and so I just remember, in high school, it was a teacher that had opened up my eyes, Mrs. Turner. I love her to death. She was my drama teacher, and I remember one day, we did our little acting things at the school, but then one day she was like, okay, you guys, I'm going to take you on an audition. And she had went to the local newspaper, and had looked up some auditions that were in town, and she had took us to the audition. But for some reason, as a kid, it had never occurred to me that I could actually go out and audition for things outside of school at that age. You get what I'm saying? Because in your mind as a little kid, you always thinking, oh yeah, I'm just going to be a part of the school play or the church play. You don't really think outside the box. So there's some kids that do have their parents behind them that give them agents and stuff like that. It never occurred to me that I could go after things outside of school until then. You know what I mean? And then that's when I became a part of the Youth Ensemble of Atlanta, and this is before Escape, stuff like that was outside of school. And, that's when I really became driven. In our group, when we were going after our dream, we were we were introduced to a couple of producers, and I would reach out to them and like, oh, I really want to write. Can I write to some of your tracks? And then they would give me tracks and I would practice and different things like that. So, I just want to say if you're a teenager or kid or whatever, don't think that you have to wait until you graduate from school to start pursuing your goals in life. You can still do the same thing. You can start researching how to start a business. When I was young, I used to read a lot of financial books. I know that sounds weird, but, just so that I wouldn't be the person that goes broke, like make some money and then lose it all. So I was reading The Millionaire Next Door when I was like 16, stuff like that. So, you just have to start researching. First of all, you need to figure out, what do you want to do? What do you love to do? What sparks your interest? I think a lot of kids, especially, they have no clue to what they want to do. Well, let's start off with, what do you enjoy? Do you enjoy taking pictures? Do you enjoy just writing on the blogs? Start your own blog. There's advertising money that you can be making from that. Like, figure out what it is that you love and then research ways to make money doing what you love. Because it's all about, you don't want to have to grow up and be in the workforce and making money doing something you don't even like. Figure out, when you see something if you like to cook, there's so many things a little kid, kids like to do, it's so much. So whatever it is you enjoy, start looking up ways to make money at it.
So pretty much find your passion and whatever that is, just go from there.
Right.
So this is a BCK TV question that we're going to ask everybody that's on here. So if you, just knowing everything that you know right now from, being married and dealing with family, professional, if you could sit down with your 13-year-old self and give her a little bit of advice, what would you give her? What would you tell her?
My 13-year-old self?
Yes, 13.
Oh, Lord.
Before you was reading financial books.
That's a good one. Okay, well, yeah. Well, I mean, I hate to look at things and say I regretted this or that, because I feel like everything brought me to this point. But, I mean, overall, I think young girls at that age, you start thinking about boys real heavy in middle school. And I would definitely say, which I've tried to say to like little cousins and stuff like that, don't get so caught up in those boys or whatever, because a lot of times you think you're so in love, but then when you get older and you look back, you're like, it wasn't that serious. So that's the first thing. Do you speak to kids about sex and stuff?
You talking about on the side? Or
do you talk to parents and stuff about how to, have that conversation with?
That's a touchy subject.
Okay, well, I won't talk about the sex. But I mean, just saying, as far as like, kids start exploring in middle school, high school. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I always say, watch your numbers. You don't want to start now, because then you're going to have high numbers when you get older. And I know that's something that sounds crazy, but it makes a lot of sense. So,
I guess because when you're young, you're living in the moment, and you don't think that far ahead.
Well, no, because you got to think about it. A lot of these kids, they think they're so in love. So let's say you got a little boyfriend, you go to your school, y'all, whatever, you fell in love. Okay, but then y'all break up. Then next thing you know, you dating somebody else at the school. Together, you in love. He already done heard that you been with this other person. Then he can say, you don't love me like you love him. Then y'all break up. It's two. Next thing you know, one more person. You now everybody say you the hoe. So they gotta watch that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, nowadays with so much at the kids' fingertips now,
it's way too much. Instagram alone.
Yeah.
Instagram alone. You know, I didn't know some of the things that you can see on Instagram.
There's a lot that you can see on there.
Vine. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Stay away from
It's too much. It's too much. But, you know, with that, you know, I feel like we have to be realistic and have open, honest conversations with our children. You know, I know a lot of people don't like to, but you have to have that conversation before somebody else does. That's how I look at it.
No, you're absolutely right. So, lastly, we're going to end where you started in music. So, is there any new music from you as an artist, or just you?
I just signed 2 young groups.
Okay.
One is a girl group. Their ages 15 and 16. Mm-hmm. They R&B, urban music. They are amazing. The name of the group is Glamour. Then I also have a pop group that is girls and boys, and they're from the ages of 13 to 16. And they are super dope as well. All of them can really sing. Amazing kids. Like, work ethic is crazy. That's why I say you don't have to wait till you get old. They've been working on their dreams for a long time. I was introduced to them by one of the vocal producers I work with. His mom owns a performing arts school called AGI. And parents out there who's looking for a place to take your kids, you probably should go there, because a lot of their kids act, are in, you know, get opportunities, get agents, and, you know, on television and stuff. So yeah.
So the second group you were speaking of, what's the name of it?
Loud.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 4 kids. And we might add one more, but right now it's 4 kids, 2 girls, 2 boys. Mm-hmm. They are amazing.
Well, we will definitely be on the lookout for that. I'm excited to hear about them, and that's the end for us. And I really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for all the great advice that you have given us. I'm going to take some notes, give myself some deadlines. So, thank you again. This is Takesha with BCK TV and Miss Kandi.